What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? It's Hump Day. Hump Day is Wednesday, which means it's tea time. In the meantime, between time, it is your guy, OG Big Sam, aka Mr. Y. Yes, live with the franchise right next to me, and the young knight right below. Say what's happening to the people, fellas.
What's happening? What's going on? It's Hump Day.
Yeah, it's hump day, and then to some people, it might be the end day. Things didn't roll to where we're gonna have a little NBA playoff talk. You see devastating injuries going all around. We're gonna keep it West Coasting in the most in at this particular juncture. No question:
Mm-hmm.
are the Golden State Warriors done without Steph Curry?
Hell yes.
Uh, You know, some in
I'm gonna say
some
this.
circles that might be the belief.
I'm gonna say this, OG. So you know how Steph Curry is hurt, right?
Yeah,
Had that been LeBron James, you know they would have said, "Oh, he faking injuries, man. Here you go doing the shit." See,
yeah,
you know how they
yeah,
do.
yeah. No, we gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. We gonna leave LeBron out of this. You know what I'm saying? You know, we gonna leave the king out of this. You know, for all intents of nerve purposes, we're gonna leave the king out of this. You know, I think the larger question
Mm-hmm.
would be, can Jimmy Buckets be the warrior for Golden State?
Whoo, man. I mean, the last two games, man, he had a chance to show up, man, and you know, I mean,
I mean,
what's the reason they brought him here for? To take the load off Steph, right?
I don't
I
think
mean, I think, I mean, he has shown over the years, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
he can get it done in crunch time. You know, they call him Jimmy Buckets for a reason.
Yep.
Um, you
Yep.
know, but I think other than you know, because we know what Draymond is to that team. You know, regardless of what people may think about him, um, Draymond is the glue on that
Oh yeah.
team.
Always.
Um, but right here in this situation against this buzzsaw,
Oh.
um, Jimmy Buckets, Gary Payton Jr.,
Yep.
um,
Buddy Hill
and,
too.
the rest of these guys, at
Yep.
this juncture, I'm putting the spotlight on Jimmy at this point. Being the seasoned veteran and being the caliber player that he is, and you know, and the name that he has made. Can he? I
Ooh.
mean, you can't. There is no replacing of Steph Curry.
No
You
sir.
can't. You know what I'm saying? But right here, um, from a leadership standpoint, and from a bucket getter standpoint, can Jimmy be that guy? right here. I mean, 'cause their backs are up against the wall.
Yeah.
Right here.
I'm gonna say,
Because Anthony Edwards and them Wolves, they smelling the blood.
oh yeah.
They smelling the blood in the water. So, franchise, what you think?
I think it has more to do with everybody else and not Jimmy Butler
Yeah.
because it's like what Jimmy does is the same thing with what Jason Tatum does for Boston,
Right.
where he can do everything that he in his ability,
Right.
but before Jason Tatum got hurt, he scored 42 points and they still lost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Golden State has enough to make up or even combine to make up for what they're lacking
Right.
without Steph. I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
has anything to do with Jimmy. Jimmy, he can score all the points in fourth quarter, but if nobody else is gonna give them any down the stretch points or
Right.
rebounds or hustle plays, it's not gonna matter.
Okay. I'm finna get a little messy. I'm finna get a little messy right here. This next question.
Ooh, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do that.
Are the Warriors missing Clay now?
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
Last brother.
uh, are they missing Clay now?
A lot of folks said they should have got rid of Draymond before Clay.
I mean, I mean, we've seen a few times this year where Steph was missing him. You know, you done made a pass to a spot where Clay normally be at. He throwing the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, boy, they missing him for sure.
I mean, I'm touching all the corners right here. Because this is a very interesting situation and moment in time, for these Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, you know, I see that little franchise. What's the
Oh no, I was watching something. Yeah, I mean this team is not the same without the Splash Brothers.
Right.
There's not enough spacing, and as much as they want to space because that's the offense that they run.
mm-hmm.
I don't think these young pups that they have.
Yeah.
They're not established enough
Mm-mm.
to garnish the attention
Right.
that a Steph or a Clay would. They're not the. They're not. It's not going to happen. So yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, Mr. Curry has his work cut out for him. I mean, it's you got to you're giving up a lot of fast break points, which seems to be the problem in this series for Golden State. You know, um,
Can't score.
you transition defense on a whole. You know, for the Warriors in this series.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, OG, you forgetting about one more piece they let go now. You probably know what I'm talking about. Jordan Poole.
That might have been the first domino of the Kraken collapse.
Because he was a sniper for them, wasn't
You know, but I if I mean, here's my thing with it big picture wise. You know, when you made that deal
he? Mm-hmm.
with Miami, I would have had to find a way to keep Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, I would too.
I think that's the one.
You gave up a lot for Jimmy.
That's
Yeah.
the one.
You know what I'm saying? I would have I'd have gave up a bunch of picks instead of giving up Andrew Wiggins in that deal.
They
Yeah.
traded Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and who else?
It was a couple of second round picks.
Yeah.
Kyle Anderson, Andrew Wiggins, and
I know.
I think it was another player involved.
Probably so.
I would have found a way to make that deal without Andrew Wiggins being involved in it.
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't know if it would be possible, but I would have found a way to make that, even if it involved, you know what I'm saying, three or four teams. I'd have found a way.
Now I did read something that Draymond said he always wanted to play for Detroit. Now.
I mean, well, that is his home.
Yeah.
That is his home, and I'm gonna tell you something. This off season coming, he may just get his wish.
It wouldn't surprise me, man. It wouldn't surprise me.
He may be closing his career out at the crib. You know,
That would be actually
Hey,
an amazing thing for him to do.
I'm gonna tell you, even if whether they do or don't get Draymond this offseason, they are going to be a dangerous team next year.
Who, Detroit?
yeah,
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 Oh,
yeah. The nucleus that they have, and they, you know, young nucleus. The last three seasons, you know, it's been rough turning, but they turned that corner a little bit.
yeah.
You know, yeah, the Detroit is going to be strongly back in the mix. But you know, a Detroit, an Orlando, you know what I'm saying? You know,
don't forget Houston too.
Houston, but you know, how about them New York Knicks?
Boy.
Man, I would never give them credit. Fuck them niggas.
That motherfucker said, "Fuck the Knicks." You damn right.
Wait, what?
That motherfucker said, "Fuck the Knicks."
What you mean? I'm a Hawks fan. I would never, never,
And
never,
I get that.
never. I don't.
We are content creators. We're analysts. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. I'm homebred. You know what I'm saying, cornbread myself. We just you know.
Hey, I know why you don't like him. Is it because of Jalen Brunson, dog? That's what it
No,
is.
no,
That foul.
no. They ain't got nothing to do with it. Nope.
Hey, that butterball fouling mofo.
Nope.
Oh man, you know, look, they're there. They're there. They finna close this thing out too.
Hey man, and shout
You know,
out to them Indiana
look
Pacers, man.
here's what you're looking at right now, and I'm from a conspiracy theorist, you know, what I'm saying type of angle. And you know, and it kind of gives credence to turning a corner on some, you know, people ain't watching type of thing. But you know, the most thankless rivalry that's been in this season has been New York and Indiana. Those two teams do not like each other, none whatsoever. Okay, them because Indiana look like they gonna take Cleveland out,
Man, Mitchell missed
They
3 games.
and
they
Indiana,
already did. They took.
Indiana and New York in the Eastern Conference Finals. That makes for ratings. That makes for drama. That makes for physicality. You know what I'm saying? It gives you everything that everybody complained about is not going supposedly not going on in the league as of now.
Uh-huh.
Jalen Brunson and Halliburton do not like each other at all.
Nope. And ever since that shit with his dad.
Okay, them two right there on some I meet you in the parking lot type thing between them two.
Yep.
You talking about a 7-game slobber knocker that we probably about to be seeing here in the next couple of days.
It wasn't even surprising.
You know,
That's,
but
so
you know,
who y'all think that can come out the West? Because I love OKC, boy, but that damn Jokic, he's something else.
well, we're gonna we're gonna see. It's looking like it's looking like probably maybe possibly Denver, but I keep looking at this Minnesota team and Anthony Edwards, and you know what I'm saying.
Well, them
You
boys,
know, since the being in the Olympics with Brian them and soaking up all that knowledge and being around the mega stars and things that come out this year and it's he stepped his game up. You know what I'm saying? He all the way up.
hey, like Brian told him, man. He said, "Don't make that next step."
You know, he don't mind getting in nobody's face.
Nope.
Okay, and this, you know, that's gonna make for interesting theater with him and Russ. You know what I'm saying?
Russ gonna go at it, bro. I promise.
The two possible conference final matchups to me are gonna give the people and all of the naysayers all of what they want and been complaining about. Well, ain't no game ain't physical, ain't no rivalry and all this old kind of stuff. You know, what a lot of folks been crying and complaining about. Hey, Christy, you know what I'm saying? Me personally, all of that. I like the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I like what I've been, seeing from these youngins, you know what I'm saying, that's coming up, you know what I'm saying, in this thing, and, you know what I'm saying, the hood spa, chest out, and the games itself from, certain players, Shea Gildress, I love that kid. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Halliburton, I love his game. But Michael, over there in New York, Bronson, yeah, Mikal Bridges. I love his game too. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an old school cat. You know what I mean? Done seen it from Connie Hawkins to Dr. J Bird out Magic, all of that. All right. You know what I'm saying? I like what I see. I like what I see. I like the games that I watch when I do get a chance to watch. I'm not looking for the history that has been made, that has transpired. It was just that, you know what I'm saying, great, God own, you know what I'm saying, history, and play and drama and all of that. And I myself, I appreciate what I've seen from the guys that I've seen it from. You know what I'm saying? I'm not putting the game down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just because, motherfuckers ain't playing hockey on the basketball court. I'm just saying.
Right.
They're playing basketball. When you sit down and you watch the game. Yeah, I watched the game to watch basketball.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You somebody put it in the basket, make a good play. You know, play some good defense. You know, as much as folks holler about ain't no defense being played. You know what I'm saying? Today's game. Well, nah, I beg to differ in some aspect, but it is what it is. You know,
What?
you're not gonna please everybody.
Right. So what you're saying is you're not one of these fans that like that watch people just score points and stats.
I watch the game for the game.
Thank you. That's
Is
all.
what I'm saying.
That's all I want to
I
ask
watch
you.
the game for the game, plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? I watch Kyrie for Kyrie. You know what I
Right.
mean? I watch Brunson for Brunson. You
Right.
know, I watch Trey for Trey. You know,
What?
same so and you know what I'm saying? Even the faces, you know, KD, LeBron, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Russ, you know,
Yeah.
who I think is and was a modern day Oscar Robertson.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's another conversation for another day. Um, you know, but I like the game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hate on it or try to, you know what I'm saying, put it, put it in a place compared to, you know what I'm saying, years past. I'm looking at it for who they are and what they are now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, plain simple. But to the original topic,
Yeah.
um, I can agree. For the most part, Warriors are probably most likely done. I'm not necessarily writing them off because like I said, I kind of believe in, Jimmy Butler, for the things that I've seen him do in playoff moments, in
Yeah.
playoff, in his playoff experience.
Uh-huh.
But do him himself, will it be enough? It probably won't. Um, it's going to take some monumental defense from the Warriors to slow this buzzsaw down. They got to stop the bleeding and transition, you know what I'm saying, on transition defense because they're giving up a lot of fast break points.
Yeah.
They're giving up a lot of fast break points.
But you notice this,
You know,
OG, they had Andrew Wiggins. They didn't have this problem on defense, did they?
he was one. Um,
Cats like
he was one. You know what I'm saying, that played some good D. Um, I think they made him. I don't call it a good move. You know what I'm saying, getting rid of Wiseman.
mhm.
But hey, whatever that issue was there, they felt like it was the best to get him out of town. What up, Xavier? He says I think the Warriors are done. Jimmy buckets will have to have a monster game. Yeah, we can agree on that. We can agree on that. That is a true fact. Um, but hey, with prayers up to Steph, speedy recovery. The same for uh, uh,
Tatum.
Tatum. The same for Tatum. Prayers up. I wish that guy all the best.
Yeah.
He's in for a long road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's in
he,
for a
he
long
probably
road.
gonna miss. He probably gonna miss majority of next year.
Oh,
Well, oh, he,
it's no
That's a
doubt
yeah.
fact.
he's not
That's a
gonna
fact.
play at all next year.
No, it's no.
This is this is
Well,
a
well,
this is a this is a year and a half to 2 year journey he finna be on.
Yeah. So that means
with the technology now, I wouldn't put it past them.
yeah.
No, we've seen it take a year and a half to 2 years, but with how
Yeah,
technology is nowadays, he could come back middle of the season next year or third through the season. Don't know.
I don't see him at all next year.
So
I
do y'all
mean,
think
I think the latest that I heard, At one point, they wasn't even calling it a rupture. They was calling it a complete tear on the Achilles. But that another opinion or another MRI may say different. And you're right with all the medical technology and the the advancement in sports medicine. I'm still calling it a whole season. Um, but it's I really hate it for him. I really do. I hate it for him with that injury. Um, and then he just got what I'm saying, got that max, that super max. It's something. It's just something about getting these mega paydays that always end up being followed up by a major injury.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? And then them being the defending champs.
Yeah, boy. I got the same
Probably not going to be able to defend their championship this year. Because again, them Knicks right now are a buzzsaw. They seem to have their number. They'll be looking to close this thing out in Game 5.
They better close it out. Stop playing.
You know what I'm saying? So, even though I don't like him any more because he got my crush. Got your crush pregnant. Who's your crush, Xavier? I still don't want to see him go down like that. But you know what I'm saying, Boston done. Who's your crush, Xavier?
You talking about LMA?
LMA?
That's that. Yeah, that's who he dating now. They got a whole nother baby and everything. Mine is the son he got. So let me ask y'all this question, man. Do y'all think they'll break this whole Celtics team up? Or no?
Well,
breaking up the Celtics. Al Horford getting on up there now.
I mean, well, he got him a chip. He was looking, what I'm saying, to defend that. It's on Al. If his mind if his body is with his mind and he still is able to play here, he's gonna play another year. He's not. He normally takes care of himself. It depends on him and what he wants and where he's at with the team. Because he is up there in age. And he long, what I'm saying, in basketball years. What are we talking about? 14, I think 14 years, 14 or 15 years at this point. You know what I'm saying? What up, George, Texas boy? But I think it depends on, because this Jaylen Brown situation is not going to go away.
What's going on with that?
I mean, well, the drama behind the scenes and the Nike thing, the whole situation between him and Boston, you know what I'm saying, on that in the off season and whatnot, not being on the Olympic team and all of that. And the drama with him getting Finals MVP and all of that. Let me see, George Chaser. But what's your thoughts on prime time games? I was getting ready to get to that.
So I gotta ask you this, OG. How many years you think Draymond got left in the league?
At this particular juncture, 2, maybe 3 at best. It depends. on you know what I'm saying how what he's got going on personally.
He
And
just got fined the other day for arguing with the refs.
I mean, well, that's Drake. That's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But from a physical standpoint, you know, and his type of game, Dre, he could play another 2 3 years if he wants to.
Yeah.
And but given you know, as now his time his if you're asking me about what he has left in Golden State, I think this may be it.
Yeah, it's time.
Um,
It's time.
I think this may be it. I think they're gonna find some kind of way to move on from Draymond, which you know, I mean it is what it is. You know, Clay's gone, Steph's hurt. Steph is looking at life after basketball himself.
Right.
You know, I mean, and you know, I think this move to get Jimmy Butler kind of reinvigorated him. You know what I'm saying? Somewhat. Um, you know, Steph could probably, you know, most definitely play. You know what I'm saying? Three more if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
you think he got more left in the tank than Brian and them do?
Man, Brian is gonna play as long as he loves the game, and he loves the game. And people are so he's gonna unless his body starts to tell him that he can't. Brian's gonna play as long as he wants to.
Right.
You know, and that's just on that. I mean, you know, people keep trying to tie, you know, saying you know him and Steph in this little quote unquote race or whatnot. I don't think one has to do with the other.
Mm-mm.
Um, you know, like I said, you have to look at his perspective situation. I mean, you know, you looking at life after basketball. You know, you missed some things in your baby girl's life. You just had a second kid. Um, you
Yeah, man.
know, we're talking about you know what I'm saying family life looms large nowadays. So I mean, you
Man, do
know
you
what I'm
know how
saying.
players hate missing Christmas because they got to play?
I mean, well, yeah, a lot of I've seen, you know what I'm saying. I've seen a lot of that, and that's in any sport. You know what I'm saying. Guys that have played long tenures and have
Right.
kids that are growing up. You know what I'm saying. I take a quote out of 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying. With you know when they was at M's daughter's wedding. You know what I'm saying? And fit, it was like, I now understand why people used to always wonder why M, you know what I'm saying, didn't tour a lot. Well, kids, not missing things in the kids' lives, not missing the moments, you know, and seeing your baby girl, you know what I'm saying, grow up, seeing her, get a family of her own and becoming a grandfather and not missing none of that. If it was like, now, I understand that now. That some of these guys, you know what I'm saying, that have had long careers like
Yeah.
CP, Carmelo, Bron, you know what I'm saying, that got kids, Boozer, you know what I'm saying, and all that got kids that now that are in high school, middle
Yeah.
school, you know what I'm saying, in college,
Hey,
and being there, Dwayne Wade, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying, being there and being able to watch that and be a part of that. Say that,
Right.
as far as Steph is concerned,
Yeah.
that first one, she's what 12 now.
Yeah.
We getting ready to go to high school, and then you just had
Look at
another kid.
look at LeBron's daughter Zuri. She growing up too. She playing
Well,
volleyball
I
now.
mean, well, yeah, you know what I'm saying, and she got him wrapped around her finger,
Yeah.
and her brothers too. So I mean, that could loom kind of large in Bron's thinking coming up over the next year or two.
Right.
Because you got your second, you know what I'm saying, getting ready to go to Arizona or USC or
Yeah.
one of them, one
Arizona. Arizona.
Arizona,
Yeah.
again,
No,
him and being, playing, it depends on what he wants to be a part of, how he wants to be a part of
right.
that. You know what I'm saying, and what he feels and how his body is doing. You know what I'm saying. He's one of the better athletes going right now. You know, he and the way he loves the game, that's totally,
Yeah.
gonna be up to him. LeBron can play as long as he wants to.
I did see a clip though. She said Savannah said she don't want him to retire unless he decides to.
Yeah.
She don't want him just sitting home not doing nothing. You want to play, man, play.
Let's see. Corey says
Tatum injury is off,
Tatum injury is off foot,
so he'll be
so
fine.
he'll be fine. Like Katie, and I can't dismiss an Achilles tear like that. I
He ain't
mean,
gonna
yeah,
play.
because even KD had setbacks because he had calf issues. You know what I'm saying? Trying to come back sooner than he should have. All of that. But like Ann said, with sports medicine, being its advancement, maybe it'll be a year, maybe it'll be 8 months. You know what I'm saying? But a ruptured Achilles or a complete tear normally is a year plus.
So,
Just
so he
saying,
might.
haven't seen enough of them. What I'm saying, over a good portion of time.
Yeah.
Um, so hey, what I mean? And y'all got anything else you want to say on the Warriors issue? Before we
Uh,
move on.
wait. Nobody has mentioned the inconsistency. The inconsistency. Damn it, I can't even talk.
Inconsistency.
Yeah. Of Buddy Hill, man. Like he used to be that sniper, man. Like what's going on with him? You know?
I mean, he still has been the sniper. That's another name that who in going forward. Um, to me, like I said, the Warriors' issue right now is transition defense. They giving up a lot of fast break points. You know,
Because like the other night,
um,
Minnesota went on a 9-2 run, a 10-0 run or whatever run they went on.
yeah, yeah. Um, shit, franchise. Anything else you got? Got anything else on this before we shift on to this other topic?
Yeah, boy.
Nah, no. Okay. Well, dirty birds, dirty birds.
Mm.
Offensive line key to Penix development.
No. Mm-hmm.
Now, I myself, I was thinking, you know, about because you're looking at and they put, skilled players around. Now, what I did find interesting is us, what I'm saying, kicking Philip Dorsett out the door, which is interesting in itself. But then looking at the two receivers that we signed in undrafted free agent pool, I'm like, okay, all right there, what I'm saying, plus the tight end, the optimal, what I'm saying, skill set weapons on the outside. But for a quarterback's development, you got to have a center that could, what I'm saying, call, protection sets. If you got a center, or and that can call, and audible protection sets, what I'm saying, for your quarterback, that kind of takes a little bit of some off you, what I'm saying, for the quarterback to be concerned about. Um, we picked up and drafted well for the offensive line. I think that the bigger way to ask it, how much of an impact do you think the offensive line would be in the development of Penix in franchise? Since you've been the resident lineman in this, you give us, you know what I'm saying, your standpoint first.
Well, I mean, of course, a good offensive line is key to any young quarterback. But for a quarterback that can get the ball out as fast as Michael Penix can, that makes the offensive line much more greater. Because what does that mean? That means you're only blocking for no more than a couple of seconds.
3 to 5 seconds at best.
Not even that. I'm talking about a couple of seconds. Like bam, bam, out.
Okay, yeah. If you're talking about on the drop back and immediate popping, then yeah, 3 step, bam, 5 step, bam. Okay.
Yeah, getting the ball out. That helps out everybody. No, but also you have our offensive line has to be able to. How can I put it? Because what if Michael Penix gets flushed out the pocket? We have to be able to flexible enough to move the pocket too.
Yeah.
We have to have our we have to have eyes on our side of our head and you know stuff like that. But you have to have that where you know what's going to happen next. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like so that's
Now,
key.
yeah, because see, that was one thing that I pointed out. Well, not pointed out, but stood out to me in the 3.5 games that he played in on last year. His poise and pocket presence. You know, his his footwork is good, but it can improve. But his pocket presence and being able to move with the pocket, or a sidestep, what I'm saying, or get out of the pocket whenever it need be, was
Or step up in the
always,
pocket.
yeah, was always was something that stood out to me. You know, now with that, that's why I keep looking, going back and looking at this line, and what I'm saying, in Noozle, and then us drafting Nelson, and picking up Joshua Gray and Jordan Williams. It to me was a concerted effort, in really putting the cement, what I'm saying, in this offensive line. And I guess the powers that be in the organization kind of saying, okay, we're gonna take one particular thing, what I'm saying, off your list to be concerned about as far as Penix is concerned. Developing as a quarterback, and getting some chemistry, what I'm saying, with your big uglies up front, if you will. You know, um, and then then you bring in you sign a guy like what I'm saying, Joshua Simon, what I'm saying, to the tight end room. You pick up a Nick Nash, who I've seen a lot of film in minicamp on, between him and Penix, and a Skinner Jr. That's why I said, going into next season, offensively, there's really not too much of a variation as to what the offense is going to be able to do. I mean, they've stood by the basics. You put things in place for your quarterback to, have the necessary equipment and set up around him. So when he goes to the film room to do homework, after looking at the schedule and knowing what defenses you're going to be facing, to this point, you know, and it's gonna be plenty of prime time to get, high time on too. Which I'm gonna get to a little bit later. But right now, it's looking the setup is looking very, very not too many obstacles lie in the way of the development of Penix right now. Would you all agree?
Oh yeah.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got Mooney, you got Ray, you got Drake, you got Hodge, you got a Skinner Jr., you got a Nash, you got a Pitts, you got a Simon, and you got plenty of pieces and monstrous additions to your offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it looks, and then you even with your movements, on the offensive side of the coaching staff, and the movement of Yates, and bringing in Matt Ryan to consult and mentor, your star quarterback. And having a Ike Hilliard as your receivers coach. You know, there's plenty of veteran and Hall of Famer leadership, in this setup. And I mean, he can't do nothing but be successful, and his, where his development won't be stomped. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Corey, hit him high, hit him low.
All right, Space Jam. Okay, Space Jam.
And really, it wasn't a dismissal. Of course, I mean our run game speaks for itself. With Bijan and Tyler. And adding a Nathan Carter to that mix, it's gonna make for interesting theater.
Right.
Very interesting. This offense has a chance to go from 22 points a game to maybe 27 or 28 points a game, easy, I believe. It kind of going back to the conversation that we was having the other day. You know what I'm saying? Spread offense versus ground and pound. I think this is kind of sort of going to be an amoeba-like offense, where it can mutate into whatever you really need to be. I mean, we know that we can run the ball. We know this.
Everybody knows we can run the ball.
Yes, we can run the ball. That's a foregone conclusion. The thing is, right now with Zach Robinson, and where in your bag are you gonna go with this, with what you have to work with? You know what I'm saying? You can spread, you can balance it. You know what I'm saying? You can get a little triggeration in there. You know what I'm saying? A little bit, some end arounds, some underneath tight end shuffles. It's going to be interesting on how Zach, along with Yates and Matt, and them, steer and move, open up this offense and how dynamic is it going to be able to be?
So what you're saying is you don't see a lot of belt to ass this year, huh?
It's a strong possibility. Cause see, so going back to like what I said a month or so ago, with Matt coming in and being able to shed some light and some wisdom to Penix, it's going to help the offensive coaching staff as well. It's going to help Zach Robinson, you know what I'm saying, learn some things and, you know, probably see some things that he probably ain't, you know, haven't, you know, seen, you know, learning, you know, from some stuff from Matt, you know, who's seen every type of defense, who's able to make every kind of throw, you know what I'm saying, and know how, you know, to possibly attack certain defenses, and giving those little jewels and tidbits to Penix, you know, and learning how to read certain aspects, certain blitzes, you know, look for certain keys, and see through certain coverages.
So you did see the clip, Michael Penix at Waffle House, right? He was on the phone and he was FaceTime with Matt Ryan. They already, we already knew. I already knew it was gonna happen. I mean, hey,
Millie Mills says my only concern with Michael Penix is the touch on his passes. Everything ain't got to be a rocket. Well, he had a lot of times. You know, some what I've seen early, from him. Sometimes, you know, I mean, he has touch. He has touch now. Let's not get it confused. He has touch, and a lot of times, you know, what seems to look like a rocket don't necessarily be a rocket. It's just his passes are so refined that sometimes it looks like, you know, he's throwing a bullet, and it's just, you know, it's on a line.
mm-hmm.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying, the maturation of his arm strength and touch, that's gonna come with time. It's gonna come with repetition. It's gonna come with reps. It's gonna, you know what I'm saying, come with work in situations, or in practicing those type of throws. You know what I'm saying, the outside back shoulder. You know what I'm saying, the up the seam, over the top, underneath. You know what I mean. All of that is gonna come with time, you know, with reps, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, out now. Question.
Yes, sir.
With these pieces coming in, outside of Drake and Pitts,
Mm-hmm.
who do you think is gonna become a consistent target, if you will? You know, you know, sort of like your protection blanket. You know,
I will have to go with Ray McLeod. Penn has been working with him all offseason.
this is true.
And they both from Florida, so they know each other very well.
That's a good choice.
This is true.
So I'm saying, y'all, I'd be surprised if you see him get a lot of targets this season. I'm just saying.
I mean, he on the total on the season, he did have close to 80 catches.
Yeah, he did.
He did. He did. He did have close to 80 catches.
As goofy as he was on special teams, he still almost had 80 catches on offense.
Man, that motherfucker.
You know what? Now, I seen some moments, and I'm gonna say Mooney, because this is a contract year.
Yeah.
You know, guys tend to turn it up. You know what I'm saying, when they get that contract year. You know, you know, but now, I've from Mooney I think Nash, because I've seen a lot of film and mini camp. You know what I'm saying? They getting in a lot of work together. Lot. You know, that's why I'm itching. I'm itching for preseason right now. You know, really itching for preseason. And Corey says, yeah, Penix gotta use them takedowns more often.
That'll come.
And he'll learn though. Yeah.
That'll come with growing up.
Yeah, that's gonna come. That's gonna come. I mean, because you know, like I said before, you could see on last season, even those 3.5 games, his command of the offense was veteran like. His poise was veteran like. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like I stated at one point, I think me of those 3 games, to me, his best game was that first one, the one that he didn't have any touchdowns in.
Are you talking about against the Giants?
Was the Giants his first complete game?
Yes.
Yeah.
That game that he had those 267 yards. He didn't have a touchdown though. You know what I'm saying? But that to me that was the best example of what to look for going forward with him, because the movement, the choices he made, the looking for the first downs and not trying to, you know what I'm saying, get a touchdown on every throw.
Right.
Type, you know what I'm saying, type movement. And how he made the decisions that he made on the 2 times that he did take off running. You know what I mean? And the passes that he made. That one in that back shoulder on the left seam to Drake. Man, you only see veteran quarterbacks make a throw like that.
Man.
Oh yeah, you talking about the one where the first one, his feet was out, but then he came right back through the same damn ball.
Yep.
Fit it right in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Did he make a throw to Darnell Mooney like that too?
Yep.
And the throw to Ray McLeod in that Carolina game. That was a thing of beauty. I mean, not Ray Cordell Hodge.
Yep.
Yeah, that Cordell Hodge one was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Woo.
Yeah, Jordan takes boy that. Yep. See, but I'm having one of those feelings about this offensive line with the guys that we brought in, the 200 free agents and the drafting of Jack Nelson. It's I'm having. I haven't felt like this about our offensive line since 1998. It did, and we all know how that year turned out.
Not me.
We were in the Super Bowl.
You shut your young ass up.
Right.
I was talking about not me.
Here's the thing about that offensive line and that year. I think we were 3rd overall in the league in total yards. We were 2nd overall in the league in rushing.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm having that type of thought and feel about the movement, about the addition of personnel, you know what I'm saying, to that unit. You know what I'm saying, to the offensive line unit. It and having a young guy like a Michael Penix, you know, and things, his development, you know, going forward to go smoothly, you know what I'm saying? You know, in most cases, when you can run the ball, like we can run the ball, okay, you know what I'm saying? That kind of takes the edge off your quarterback. It takes the pressure off your quarterback to be able to, you know, sit and let the game come to him.
Right.
You know, and like I said, and like we was discussing, you know what I'm saying, last week about the, you know, the type of offense that this can be. You know, again, I'm looking at it as the possibility of an amoeba type offense, which can, you know what I'm saying, mutate into anything that you want it to be.
Right.
You know, you know, let's see. Jack Nelson. Jack Nelson. I think Jack may end up in a starting type situation.
Ooh.
I don't know yet.
Boy, Andrew, you say you feel about that, huh?
He gonna have to take that from Jake.
Well, it may not necessarily be Jake. It may be on the right side, bro.
Just saying, he only
It
gave
may
up
be
one.
on the right side.
He only gave up 1 sack in college. That's it.
Yeah, that's
It may
true.
be on the right
But
side.
this is the different animal in the NFL.
He gonna have to go out and get some real dogs on the edge, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is, Jack, he is an animal.
Oh yeah.
He is an animal.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
I mean, but you know, hey, we're gonna see when he gets his chance. And we're gonna get to see, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, I know we're definitely gonna get to see in the preseason all three of these guys, you know what I'm saying? Gray, Williams, and Nelson. We're gonna get to see in preseason. You know what I'm saying? How is all gonna shape up. Um, Simon too, you know, from a blocking perspective, you know. Um, but that was just, you know, something that I wanted to, you know, talk about this offensive line, you know, and its key in Penix's development, you know, and what kind of impact, you know, saying that it's going to be, you know, going forward, you know, and how, what kind of chemistry, you know, saying going to be developed, you know, it taking some weight on not having to call protection keys, and you know, and you know, when you got a Jake and you got a Lindstrom, you know what I'm saying, and what that boy next to Jake over there on that left side,
Bergeron.
Bergeron, you know,
Bergeron. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. And then again, that the right side of that line is going to be key, because the right side is Penix's blind side.
Yeah, boy.
You know, it is.
Don't forget this too, y'all. Matt Bergeron can play left tackle too. Think about that.
Well, that when we drafted him, he was originally slated to be the backup plan to Jake, but he took to that left guard position like a beast. You know, so um, you know what I'm saying. He took to that, you know what I'm saying, that spot. So, they were like, hey, he got it.
Mm-hmm.
And
All
who is
right.
this?
So Sam,
Yeah.
somebody done leaked the schedule already. So okay, week 1, Bucks come here. Week 2, we got the Vikings. That's the Sunday night game.
Yeah, we got 4 primetime games, 2 Sunday nights and 2 Monday night games.
And then we got a Thursday night game too?
Yeah, we got a Thursday night game too, so that's 5. And then week 3, we got the Panthers come here. Week 4, Washington comes here. Week 5, Arizona comes here. Or no, hold on, my bad. We're at Minnesota. We're at the Panthers, and then Commanders come here, and then we go out to Arizona. And then week 6, Buffalo comes here. That's the Monday night game. Week 7, got to play San Francisco, Sunday night game. Week 8, we got the Dolphins. They come here. Week 9, the Patriots. We got to go to New England. And then week 10, that's the Berlin game with the Colts. And then we got a bye, week 11. And then we got the Aints. They come here. Got to go up to New York. Week 13 for the Jets. We got the Panthers, week 14. They come here. Let's see, Tampa Bay. That's the Thursday night game. We got Tampa. Seattle is here, week 16. The Rams, the other Monday night game, week 17. And then the Aints is our last game. We are at things.
Right.
So what you say the record don't be, dog?
SGA Sports Talk channel. Sure. You come on in here. I send it, drop it in now. See,
I'm correct now. Wipe your feet off before you come in here.
Bro, you done boy.
Don't play that.
What?
Homie, don't play that.
You said what, dog?
Homie, don't play that.
That boy said, come in with your shoes off.
There it is. There it is. Christian said, "Where's dinner?"
Where's the beef?
Wait, no SGA Sports Talk. Made a request. I guess we're talking about something interesting. He wants to be, Come on, Judge. Go ahead, Judge. Take boy. Come on.
Come on in here.
Give you a few minutes. We can discuss a few things. You know, we got a little time. Got a good amount of time. Come on. Come on
down. Come on down. The price is right. Come on down.
But yeah, man. One of the things I'm most excited about offensively is the Joshua Simon addition to the tight end room. I'm real excited about it. I'm real piqued about that. About him in the addition to that tight end room and what it can transpire into, especially in this offense as it's set. There's one of them. Judge text, boy.
What happened? What's
going on? You wanted in here. What did you want to pique the conversation on, sir?
All right, get it off your chest.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know where to start, man. I'm so excited about the direction the team moving.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, well, we kind of, you know what I'm saying, on the offense today, since my last show, I was on the defense, I
The
was strong,
offense, when it comes to the offense,
yeah.
I think the only issue I might have after doing some research these past couple of days, Ryan Newsom about to be 28 when the season starts.
Okay. That's not old. That's maturation.
Yeah, but you got in the NFL with a young quarterback, like that's why I think the Joshua Gray signing could really mean something.
Well, you want a mature mind, you know what I'm saying, especially at your center spot that can, you know, he remember that Newsom, he played very well when he was in there for Dolman.
I know. I agree.
You know,
I agree, but I'm just going off to keep the consistency, like because everybody been on Jake and McGarry. Oh, they 30 or they pushing 30. Well, we finna go through the same thing with Ryan Newsom.
well, Jake, if you want to talk elder statesman, that's Jake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You know what I mean? And Rick, that's why I said with what we did out for the offensive line when, you know, and the guys that we signed and drafted. I said the other day that, you know, that's gonna make it easy for Jake to say, okay, the game's in pretty good hands. I can make my exit smoothly. You know, he's year 15, you know, 16, something to that effect.
No, Jake Matthews going on year 12.
12?
We drafted Jake Matthews in 2014.
Oh damn.
Okay, well, you know, but he's still what Jake is, what, 32? 33?
31, 32? Yeah.
32. And he just had his second child. I mean, you know, just saying.
Dang, OG, you making it seem like Jake had the baby.
Look, guys nowadays, you know what I'm saying, want to be around, you know what I'm saying, when you start doing things, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's certain
different.
things you don't want to miss.
Thing
You
I
don't want
can't
to miss
say
that
about
first
this
step.
generation of players. This generational players, they playing the game first and then they building their family.
You know, you don't want to miss your first step, or you know that first major moment or whatever it may be. You know, he's put a lot of things in place, you know what I'm saying, for life after football. You know, Jake, I see 2, maybe 3 at best I could see coming out of Jake, what he got left in the tank, depending on what he wants to do with life.
I can see Jake playing a solid 15. I mean, the bloodline show it. His cousins played 15. His daddy played 19. Yeah. His uncle played 13. I mean, the bloodline show that we can get at least 14 to 16 years out of Jake.
Hey, Christian, are you saying you want to come in here? Is that what that Me Too means?
Oh, come on. Bring that ass. Come on. Everybody can get
you're more than welcome, dear. Come, you come on and speak the piece too. Now,
ain't nobody said today.
But as far as Newsom is concerned, Judge, well, I don't see that really his age being an issue. You want a mature mind, you know what I'm saying, at center to be able to take, you know what I'm saying, protection, audible issues off your quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, he did a nice job on last season in Dahlman's place when he was out.
He did a hell of a job. That's why I just say, from doing my research over these last couple of days, it came across me that Dahlman gonna be 28 before the season starts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I don't necessarily see it being an issue, you know, with him now. Gray is probably going to push him for that spot. You know, it's going to be a strong push.
And we still got Gwen.
Yep, Gwen and Matthew Cindric. So if Gray can come in and beat out those two for that number 2 spot and then work his way up to Noozle, I'm all for it. But adding in Gray,
Okay,
that's 4 centers on the roster.
Okay, Chris. Look, I'll start shooting you show times because I wouldn't mind, you know what I'm saying, having you on the show, dear. So you know what I'm saying, we could chop it up about that. But you more than welcome, dear.
Oh yeah, you always more than welcome.
Yeah. And Corey says Penix got he did, he does. We did talk about that.
You read that. Yeah.
But yeah. Now, other than the Noozle's age, you know, what else is piquing your eyeball and interest about this offense?
Everything, like, man, like just like last night, I was watching the Michael Penix Jr. all throws for 2023. These skilled players that we got, they match everything this man had at Washington. When you look at Nash and Drake, that's Odunze. When you look at Ray and Washington, that's McMillan. When you look at Mooney and Blair, that's Polk. Like, that's everything that man had in Washington, and we got it here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Running back now, running back, they're just different. We special at the running back position. That's
we
different.
on another stratosphere.
You know what I'm saying? You can't compare Bijan to everybody, so that's different. But looking at the way those guys running that routes, the breaks, everything, I feel like the offense finna be light years of where we think the offense gonna be.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I believe that. I mean, with what we did, you know what I'm saying, attacking the offensive line and you know, the tight end and 2 receivers, and even the Nathan Carter pickup at running back. You can't be in a better position than what Penix is right now. You know what I'm saying? Coming into camp with these guys, you know what I'm saying, vying for positions, vying for a roster spot on this offense. Because I don't think you're gonna miss in either way.
Just like AJ said in his interview, this is the first time the whole franchise is on the same page.
Yep.
The same page. Like, we just flipped this franchise in 2 off seasons. In 2 off seasons, this is what this team should have been like in 2021 and Mac last year.
Well, let's not bring up old stuff.
And the defense, oh my, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody, because these moves we made, if we was the Cowboys, the Eagles, or anybody else, we would have got applauded. But just because it's Atlanta, bro, like, do folks forget we did not have no pass rush, and we just added in Leonard Floyd, JPJ, and Jalen Walker.
Well, like I said, there's a no excuse tag to Homer Simpson's ass.
Nope.
You know, Christian says, if our defense rise to the occasion as expected, it will mean that they will get off the field much faster. Wouldn't this result in the offense being on the field longer? Oh, most definitely. The more times you get off the field on 3rd down and you put the ball in the offensive hands, you have a chance to shorten the game. You know what I'm saying? That will be taking possessions away from the other team, and that gives your offense a chance to, you know, sustain drives, you know, put together 10 to 15 play drives and things of that nature. You know, if this defense is able to get off the field 50 to 60% of the time, you know, which means the offense is going to be able to eat clock. You know what I'm saying? It gives less chance to the opposing offense. Most definitely. That's exactly what that means. You know, That's exactly what it means. And with the well-known run game that we have, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
going to present a major problem.
Saying what's that old school saying go? Your best defense is your offense.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And one of the other older sayings, it's especially when you're going into the playoffs, have run game, will travel.
Oh yeah.
Run game and defense always travel.
Yeah, yeah. You can run the ball consistently, which means you're gonna have a fresh defense consistently.
Forget about it.
See, you know, let's see. She says, so our offensive line would need to be faster and endure for a longer period of time. Well, faster may not be the optimal thing. Just being able to lean on opposing defenses is because that's why you want to have a sufficient run game. You know what I'm saying? So you get down in the fourth quarter and the opposing defense is a lot of times bent over with the hands on the knees but got to stand up with the hands on the hips, sucking air. You know what I'm saying? You know, which in the first half of the season, we saw a lot of that. We saw a lot of that. We didn't see a lot of that in the second half because our damn defense couldn't stop my grandmama from crossing the street. You know, I'm just saying. But this right here, yeah. Two things that happened. You know, we got gashed by tight ends badly on 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 defense. You know what I'm saying? And you know, our pass rush sucked, and in some cases our pass defense on the whole sucked. Um, you know, that's why it's with the drafting of Xavier Watts and Bowman and signing of Fuller, I think is gonna solve our pass defense against tight ends problem. You know, um, and then offensively, like I said, we everybody in their moment knows that we know how to run the ball.
Right.
I think our ability, to get play action going and get the intermediate game going, and then when you have the opportunities to go over the top, to be able to go over the top, these are all things that I think that are gonna be able to develop better, with this offense. In Penix, because if you saw in those three games, Penix didn't make a lot of mistakes. He didn't. And he was decisive. And he made some throws. What I'm saying, he moved his offense. And that's really in for the most part, in most cases, a lot of vanilla play calling. Admittedly so. Zach Robinson even said, he really didn't get into his bag, deep into his playbook. You know what I'm saying? With Penix, now you have a set for an entire season. 16, 17 games. And to be able to open it up, give him a larger portion of the book now. You're going to be able to give Penix a larger portion of the book now, and be able to see and go and be able to do some things against some defenses. I mean, you want to add something to that franchise?
I mean, yeah, as time goes on, he gets more familiar with the playbook, and as Zach Robinson opens up the playbook more, he can make more more plays and stuff, and And as long as he continues to work hard, study, and doesn't get lazy with how he goes through his progressions and seeing the field, he will be fine. I have all my trust in him and this, and our offensive staff.
Right. I mean, well, Chris, I think we pretty much covered all the needs on the offense, from the line
Yeah,
to the skill players outside. I mean, you're probably going. There are probably going to be some guys in the receiver room that don't make the team that you're going to be like, huh? Yeah, because remember, like I said, over these last 3 seasons, and most times Terry's undrafted free agent class signings normally make the team, and I don't think it's going to be any different this year. I think all 11 of these guys that we signed this year, from Burrows, Bryant, Carter, Gray, Kobitz, Manning, Nash, Simon, Skinner, Burden, Williams, all are going to make the team.
Yeah.
And speaking, from offensively, Carter, Gray, Nash, Simon, Skinner, Williams, all of those offensively, all of those make the team. So I think this. I think most notably this offseason, we pretty much covered all needs perspective, from the offensive line to receiver. On a whole, I don't think we missed anything. I think Nathan. I think Nathan Carter is gonna. I think he's gonna be in the rotation, because he was one of the better running backs in the country from Michigan. So I mean, we pretty much covered all needs that were needs. And I feel the same way on the defensive side. We covered all needs. We covered all needs. Every pick that was made covered a need. Every undrafted free agent signing covered a need. Even in free agency, covered a need. So, I mean, right now, like I said the other day, I think more so than anything, what's gonna be the issue at hand is coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say coaching, I mean Homer Simpson,
Yep.
because he could fuck up a wet dream.
You ain't lying.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? And when you have this much talent available to you on both sides, in all three phases, and with the addition of Agnew, you know what I'm saying? With that, it's he his decision making and usage and overall, from a coaching perspective, you got guys in position. You got a Zach Robinson on offense. All right at DC. So stay your ass out the way and let these men do their jobs. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And you have to do a better job of being totally aware of your personnel in all aspects. You know what I'm saying? From mental, from a mental aspect and from a physical aspect. You got to be full and totally aware and informed. If somebody is hurt, you need to know about it. Okay, you need to be aware of it. All right. If somebody's not getting the job done, you need to be aware of it and fix it. Not stand there and watch it like you did them 4 games on last year.
Not chewing that gum either.
You know what I'm saying? These are things that just cannot happen this year. There's entirely too much talent across the board for us to end another year 8-9 or 9-8. Okay, this right here, right now. And I'm gonna stand on it. If this team does not win at least 11 games, your ass need to be out of here. Period. Point blank.
How many games? How many games you giving them this year?
7.
Okay.
Because you start the season and you're giving up 30 plus, 40 plus points on it. No, we ain't got time for that shit. No,
You know what I
no.
mean?
You doing some of the same dumb shit. Having pass rushes dropping off in pass. We none of that. None of that. We got too much talent and we got too many goddamn impact players. For guys not to be in their right position. You got to be able to put people in position to make plays. You know what I'm saying? Put people in their natural position to do their jobs. Okay, and you got to let these coordinators do their jobs. You got to let these position coaches do their jobs to make in order for these guys, you know what I'm saying, to do their jobs on the field. You know what I'm saying?
He sure was shuttling the job when things was going wrong, huh?
Man, he was standing there not doing anything.
Yep.
So I mean, that's the question at hand going forward, because everything else is in place. The personnel is in place. The staff is in place. Going forward, you're the one driving the ship. You're the one you're the one overseeing everything, which means you got to delegate. You got Zach Robinson, you got Albright, and you let these guys do the job that they were hired to do.
Right. Hey, OG, Albright don't get a pass either now. Onto Jesse.
Look, the reins are gonna be a little tight. All things given, you with becoming an obvious security risk. Yeah, I'm just saying, but yeah, this defense got to be 100% better than what it was last year.
10 times.
It got to be 100% better.
All right, no excuse. So off topic. I got one more. I got a little off topic question for you. So you heard about what happened in Baltimore today, right?
What happened in Baltimore?
Derrick Henry got some more money. I'm gonna leave it right there.
So they convinced him to stay.
Yeah.
They convinced him to stay because saying per his mom 2 months ago, he was about to leave the game.
Henry?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, per his mom 2 months ago, Derrick Henry was out of there.
Yeah, and I was telling Juan about it, and I said, so him getting paid mean that Baltimore has no more excuses, right?
I'm gonna tell you something. There's a little situation that's brewing in that division.
Yeah,
and I'm not even gonna tiptoe around. There's a situation that's brewing in Cleveland. Let it fuck around and fuck around and that young boy. Listen. Look at him. Look at him. Boy, Oh boy, look here. I'm tell you something. If Cleveland fuck around and win that division, and Shadur gets Rookie of the Year. But I'm already public enemy number one in the bottom in Raven Nation as it is.
Oh, we know.
I'm already public enemy. They gonna hate me more than they hate me now.
Man, they don't.
Okay.
They don't want your whole
it is not gonna be cute. It's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be unforgiving. Okay.
So, it's amazing how he has DeAndre Hopkins and all these weapons, and it's the same problem. I'm just saying.
And look, it ain't the if. It ain't an if Georgia Tech boy, because with Dylan fucking up the way he was fucking up yesterday.
Are you talking about in camp?
Yeah, look, Shadur is ahead of the curve and ahead of everybody. You know what I'm saying? For that right there.
Boy, if Cleveland win their division,
all right, the only question that's going to be coming up, and I think they're going to be, that you're going to be having, pay attention to the movement of the offensive line. I mean, they brought in some new pieces. That right there is really the only, because they drafted some weapons on the outside to add to the young boy that was already there. Njoko at tight end. Hopefully, Chubb is 100%. You got a run game. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna be able to stop it. You can't put a lid on what Shadur is doing right now. He's not making any mistakes. He's down there moving like a franchise player.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. So you know what'd be real funny though? You probably know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Well,
if Baltimore and Cleveland play in the playoffs and Shadur beat Lamar Jackson.
Oh Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. I mean, look, it's already gonna be bad. I mean, just hypothetically speaking, the Browns make things uncomfortable for the rest of that division.
Mm-hmm.
Because Shadur is coming, man. He's coming.
Yep.
He's coming. He's down there moving like a franchise player. He's a half an hour, 2 hours, still practicing when practice is over with.
So would you say Pittsburgh don't do nothing or what with that situation?
Well, you got internal beef going on because Tomlin is highly upset because they chose to go in another direction at quarterback. From what I'm understanding, there was a whole brawl that happened when that pick came, and they chose to pick somebody else.
Yeah.
You got internal strife going on right there. There's still issues at that quarterback position. You know what I'm saying? And then you trade Pickens to Dallas.
Right.
It's looking a little bad.
Boy.
In Pittsburgh, and they're trying to keep it covered up. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. George Chase boy said you can because Flacco earned comeback player of the year. Yeah. And he's the one down there in the film room with Shadur. He's been the consummate professional and veteran and leader in giving, helping Shadur get all the tools and tidbits and keys that he needs to get, down in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I was telling my sister, I said, look, the only reason that Shadur wouldn't start if they would give Flacco the nod because of him being a Super Bowl winning veteran in that spot. That which would be the only thing that I would understand if anybody other than Shadur you know, if it's anybody other than Flacco, it's some bullshit. But you know, right now as it stands, you can't cover up what Shador is doing down there.
Hey,
You can't.
I did see a Ravens fan say they wish they had Joe Flacco back.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Hey, the 10 eyes on this program, man, hit that like button, man. And look, if you like what you're listening to, you like the dialogue, you like the content, and you're not a member of Mr. White Network, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? And join in. I'm on the air 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You know what I'm saying? Mad Monday with the OG, Wicked Win Sports T, Falcon, Friday, Afternoon Madness on Friday, man. You know what I'm saying? So you have options, you have times, you know what I'm saying? I'm giving it to you, you know, as much as I possibly can. So, you know what I'm saying? If you like tuning in to what's going on in Mr. White Network, subscribe to me. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it coming because I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, the camaraderie. I appreciate the dialogue that gets in, you know what I'm saying, when I'm giving you this content. So, you know, show me that love and I show it right back with, you know what I'm saying, what I try to bring to you as good content, you know. Hey, and with that note, we're gonna, you know, wind it down, close it down. Young Knight.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you got on your mind for your closing thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Give it to the people and we'll wrap it on up.
Ooh, speaking on these Falcons, my thing is be prepared for preseason and regular season because this is going to be a very interesting season coming up, y'all. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very competitive training camp, y'all. So really stay tuned on that.
And you said a mouthful right there.
And another thing, Homer Simpson ain't got no more excuses. That's all I got to say.
Corey, you again, you can't put a lid on what that boy is doing down there. He's down there moving like a franchise player.
Right.
He's moving like a franchise player. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know, like I said, you know, this offensive line, you know what I'm saying, was something that I wanted to, you know, get into today. And you know, shedding my thoughts on, you know, what went on with these Golden State Warriors and Curry going down. I hope that I piqued your thoughts and gave you all a lot out of this teapot on this particular episode of Wicked Win Sports Tea. And all of that. My closing and thoughts for this. We filled a lot of needs with all of our personnel moves on this particular offseason. Again, I can't overstate it in more than I already have. What's going to happen with this team rests on Raheem Morris, a.k.a. Homer Simpson's shoulders. You're going to be a professional NFL head coach, or you're going to be Homer Simpson. What are we going to get? We're going to get 6-3 Raheem, or we going to get 2-7 Homer Simpson? That is the burning question going into this season. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this pot of tea. Hey, we got to keep it A. We got to keep it dirty. And most notably, you got to keep it real with yourself, man. Let your next choice be your best choice. For the young knight, I am the OG, a.k.a. Mr. White, and we are out.
Peace.